Ladies and gentlemen, now we have a massive dev diary update from Kabam. They have written a big response about finding a middle ground, kind of addressing everything that happened in September. There were a lot of fumbles, man. It was, one of the worst months in the game's history. And for many of us, this isn't our first rodeo. We have been here many times before. It's been an incredibly long 11 years. And this last month for a certain group of people has really been a tipping point where they feel incredible frustration and that they're either at or past the point of wanting to quit the game. And I've seen this a lot in comments, in just various discussions, in videos, in the way that people talk about their relationship with this game. Because for a lot of people, although it sounds trivial to quit a video game, to anybody that, doesn't have the kind of time and emotional investment that they've sunk into contest, for a lot of people, if you're quitting a game that you've played for 10 years, that's not a breakup. That's a divorce. it's a really big process to go through, when you've been so attached to this game, your alliance, and you feel frustrated as a player. You have limited influence over what actually happens in the game, and that can make you feel powerless. It feels very frustrating when you're kind of constantly hoping for the best, and that doesn't necessarily get delivered. So I want to say to anybody that's kind of quit or on the verge of quitting, I think with the experience that they've delivered in game and also some of this, prior communication as well, I think it's valid to feel that way. So if you need a bit of time, like take a bit of a break, you might need like a month off, you might need a year off, you might need forever off. Like, you got to do what is healthy for you at the end of the day in your relationship with this game, would be my strongest piece of advice. But I think there's a group of people as well that are looking for hope for the future of Marvel Contest Champions that still really like this game and want to continue playing it moving forward. It may be due to sunk cost fallacy at this point, but, Marvel Contest of Champions, and I still feel this as well, at its best, has some incredible moments, and the combat is so much fun, and playing certain characters in like fun, understandable matchups is really, really enjoyable. They do an amazing job at making a game that is very fun to play, but they don't always deliver on that experience via everything that they put in the game, and there's a lot of like frustrating and weird things as well. But there are a large group of people out there that still hold a lot of hope for the future of this game, and that next year could potentially be a very good year for the game. If we have the release of the new Spider-Man movie, Avengers Doomsday, if those hit a certain mark, like, it could be an incredible year for Marvel Contest of Champions. But equally, it could be an even worse year. We don't know until we get there. And just trying to navigate that current uncertainty based on the experience of everything not really hitting the mark and people just having a wide variety of frustrations in this current moment in time, it is hard to, know what the future holds, because regardless of anything said here, it's all about what ultimately gets delivered. Like, that, I know that, you can say anything you want in a community post, but it's about what actually happens moving forward, and that stuff hitting the mark and being good and feeling like an improvement and a step in the right direction. And just the reduction in these, cell phones, these own goals that Kabam appear to have had far too many of recently. With that in mind, very long intro there. Let's talk about this, because I think this post, in my opinion, is very good. It takes a lot more of a professional adult tone that I think is kind of very much needed. It takes accountability. It offers a very transparent look at, okay, we messed up. We didn't have the processes in place here. This was an oversight on our behalf. We're going to do better. We're going to fix these processes. We've already got things in the works. And I like that. I like the sound of that. But again, it's all about what gets delivered in the final product and what we experience, right? That is fundamentally it. So let's kind of go over this as well. So the plan moving forward. Spider-Woman is going to be still getting a adjustment. However, she's going to keep her ability to shut down the opponent's evade via her fumble mechanic. This is now going to shut down evade as well. So this is, again, a very halfway meet here because you no longer have the ability accuracy reduction, which some players utilized very well. And granted, it was a gamble in certain matchups like Dark Phoenix. You're not going to have the ability to do that anymore, but you still do have the ability to shut down evade with her fumble mechanic. So again, still getting adjusted, but I think this one, particularly for Spider-Woman, is being largely interpreted as a win. Again, I am not a owner of a 7-star rank 4 Spider-Woman. I'm not the sweatiest player. I think this is going to make her a lot less frustrating to fight, particularly on Alliance War, because that was the biggest bit of feedback I got from the comments section is like, Seatin, you're not playing Alliance War, you don't understand like how just BS she is to deal with on certain nodes, particularly in this post as well. It's referenced to be node 42. So again, some people are going to be happy with this, some people are not going to be happy with this. I think it's kind of what was expected, a middle ground, but I am happy she has the ability to shut down evade opponents. I think that is very, very nice there. We also have further adaptive event quest updates. So what's going to be happening is the classic health is going to be reduced even further. That was one of my biggest kind of reactions, is it still felt a bit too chunky in comparison to, you know, what Thronebreaker used to be. And also, Elder difficulty is going to be coming in for Cavalier and Thronebreaker players. So this is something I actually experienced myself on my like old free-to-play Cavalier account, is the event quest rewards just sucked. You know, they were really, really bad without the existence of that Elder difficulty. But I'm curious to see, it says they will be launching an Elder difficulty. What that Elder difficulty exactly entails as well, we're going to see. But for my free-to-play, Classic was very easy, but the rewards kind of suck. So I'm going to see if like this is approachable as well on a free-to-play, doing the Elder difficulty at Cavalier level, and if the rewards are starting to feel a little bit better as well. Because yeah, there is a game outside of Valiant progression, and it's important that the event quest, you know, is that kind of cornerstone that keeps people coming back. And then I think below that as well, I'd still like to see kind of reward updates and adjustments, but I think with the reduction of difficulty of Act 5, they're probably just like trying to encourage people in the direction of just, you know, do Act 5, get Uncollected, get Cavalier just at the very start of Act 6, and then, you know, the monthly event quest is going to be potentially quite worth it for you then. So yeah, we're going to have to see exactly how this looks like. But there is also the skip coming to Elder. However, the technical limitations of this don't allow it immediately. So they're targeting it for early next year when they're going to be able to add this feature. So yeah, I assume they're meaning like February, March next year. And this is an oversight, I guess, they had when designing and structuring the new event quest format, that there would never be a skip to Elder difficulty. So yeah, this seems like a bit of a big oversight just in terms of how they made it there. I think the argument obvious I've seen in the comment section of certain videos is, you know, Kabam, they can fix certain things. If there was something affecting their revenue, it would be fixed tomorrow. But this is going to be a few months away. But again, I think this has to be something larger to do with the unlock criteria and how the trophies or rewards are distributed and claimed. And they always do prepare builds. I think it's, you know, something like 2 or 3 months in advance, because they've got to have a build submitted. It's at least a few weeks before it actually is intended to go live, to make sure it can, you know, bypass the App Store's checks. So they're probably working on internally at the moment, you know, wrapping up like the November build and getting very close to that. So yeah, actually having the time and resources, you can see how that falls into December, January, February. But yeah, this would be appreciated sooner rather than later. But again, I would assume I've got a good faith assumption here. If they could do it quicker, they would. They just don't have the technical resource to do that right now. So yeah, we're gonna see a little bit more. There is a decision on Elders Marks and Battlegrounds. So now you have the ability to convert energy refills into Elders Marks instead, and this is going to be the kind of alternative to what is it? The previous thing of like Battlegrounds is going to cost energy to enter. So they're still going to keep Elders Marks, but if you want to play more, you just convert your energy refills into Elders Marks, which I think is a better thing because you get, again, you get more points overall. So it just makes that grind a little bit easier if you are short on Elders Marks. But I'm curious. Again, I think this is probably something that only really affects like super hardcore Battlegrounds grinders or people that are not in a very semi-committed Battlegrounds alliance, because if you're in an alliance like I am, where we do all the Battlegrounds milestones, Elders Marks are very abundant, like entry is very common. So I would imagine even if you aren't in that scenario, it's still a good win, because you know you would have previously had to use energy before, and now you're just converting that energy into Elders Marks, which is the superior entry currency. So that is my assumption, but if you have a different perspective, please do let me know below. And there's also going to be unranked Battlegrounds matches will be launching alongside Season 34, and these cost 5 energy per round, and will match you with your opponent based on the size of your roster. So, yeah, I'm curious to see, again, for like certain participation events, this seems like it's going to be a much more enjoyable experience than having to, you know, go into ranked Battlegrounds where you just get matched with, you know, the biggest, blubberiest boy or just anybody out there. There's huge amounts of variance in the matchmaking. It's so crazy, man. Like, rosters are so different depending on the player's progression. So yeah, I'm curious to see exactly how this is going to work. I would imagine unranked Battlegrounds are, again, not really going to have the rewards of ranks, so it's just going to be for like ticking those objective boxes, anything additional that comes up. But yeah, I'm curious to see if there's like an interesting way to utilize this for any sort of like additional thing that comes up, or what the exact purpose is. But again, my initial assumption is just that unranked Battlegrounds are going to be mainly for just ticking boxes when it does come to objectives there. So to ensure that things don't happen again, they have enhanced internal review processes to ensure all adjustments align with our design philosophy and receive proper approvals, improved pre-release testing to confirm changes match their intended purpose, and these steps are already in motion, and we're committed to seeing this through moving forward. So this applies to many of these decisions that have come. I think this has been a quite haunting month for many people that worked at Kabam. I think this probably highlighted a lot of things that weren't really in place. It seems like, again, there's been a bit of a just they didn't realize the reality of the changes, because, you know, when they're working on this game, they're juggling so many things that are, you know, 3 to 12 months out. They're probably already planning right now and working on many things that are going to be coming in the start to the middle of next year. And sometimes when you've got all of these things in motion, maybe you lose sight of the big immediate milestones that you need to, you know, keep on top of. Because I think this was a pretty huge one, you know, Prestige 30, massive migration, one of the biggest endgame migrations we've ever seen, for how that kind of affects how people build accounts, how they work together in alliances, some of the requirements for those alliances. You know, it changes the whole foundation of the game. And then to also put a big EQ change, I think it kind of blindsided them. And then to also not get that EQ change right, it was very, very far from an improvement. Yeah, it was incredibly disappointing to see. So yeah, looking ahead, we are aware that September was not our best month. Some of the issues were outside of our control, like the services we depend on going offline. However, most of the problems were our fault, and we know we need to be better. We're currently building that general compensation package for you that was promised due to connection issues that started last month, and we're hoping to have this to you by Friday, and think you will be pleased with the contents. We have a lot of updates and surprises to share with you on the upcoming live stream on October 3rd, one of which I'm personally extremely excited for, and even more surprises during our upcoming Summoner Fest, and this is going to be at the start of November. I will be attending this, by the way, flying out to Kabam HQ. So yeah, I'll be there on the ground covering the news, chatting to some Kabam employees, chatting to some people. So I am looking forward to that. We want this to be a time of celebration in the contest where every summoner is proud to spend their time in the battle realm and walks away feeling excited and hopeful for the future of the game. We don't want our players to feel frustrated or like their time, money, and feelings aren't valued. Bluntly, we aren't proud of the product we've put out in the field the past few months. We apologize for this, and we're going to be taking steps to ensure we get back on track and make the best game possible for you. Like we always say that we want to do. The reality is we can't promise you that every decision we make is going to hit the mark and that there aren't going to be any more mistakes. That would be a ridiculous promise, but what we can promise is that every decision we make is what we feel is best for the game and its long-term future, and for our players. We feel confident that the outcome of everything discussed in this dev diary is landing in the best spot possible for the future of the game. And they're committed to making Marvel Contest of Champions a premium experience where every summoner feels heard, valued, and respected. The Spider-Woman update was a learning moment for us, and we're already using it to strengthen our processes. Thank you for taking the time to read this. Thank you for sticking with us in bold. Until next time, we'll see you in the Battle Realm. I like the post. The post is good, but it's not the first rodeo, right? It's nobody's first rodeo here. We want to see Kabam do better. We love it when this game is winning and having a very, very good month. And yeah, I think they've got trust has been damaged this month through execution. And there is a path to restoring that trust, which is long and requires a lot of very good execution and a lot of very good decision making that, you know, players have the ability to understand and get really excited for. So yeah, overall, the last month has felt like, you know, a boxing match between Kabam and the community. And I'm just glad that Kabam are still in a position where they're willing to get in the ring and offer their perspective and communicate transparently and openly with us on these topics to the best of their ability. I think if you haven't been through the experience of playing, you know, other gacha games, other IPs, other mobile games in the last decade, I've played hundreds of games at this point. And it really gets to a certain point with tensions like this in other games and communities where the developers, somebody senior, somebody CEO, business level will go, we can never make the community happy. We're going to shut down all communication. It doesn't matter. Like, there's no need for the transparency. They're addicted to the game. They enjoy it. They're going to spend money. It doesn't matter if they complain. They're still going to log in every single day and do it. Let's just shut down the communication. Let's stop trying to make the player base happy. We're just going to look at the numbers. We're going to look at the metrics. We're going to look at what people play, what people spend on. How can we extract the most value? We don't care about the feedback. We're just going to go purely on the data. And that is a very popular direction for mobile game studios to go. As fantasy as that sounds, maybe for some people who haven't experienced other mobile games, that is 100% how many other mobile games run their communication and business. They will not care whatsoever what players have to say. They will purely look at data points and look to extract the most value possible. And I'm glad that we are not at that point with Marvel Contest of Champions. I'm glad that there is still an open level of communication, because yeah, it's never good when you get to that second point, man. That means the game is 100% dying within the next like 12 to 24 months usually. But yeah, I know many of you out there probably feel quite exhausted. I think it's valid to, you know, if you need a little bit of a break, if you need to chill and just enjoy a bit of time off and kind of wait to see if Kabam does, you know, course correct, I think that's valid. You know, you've got to manage the relationship with the game and find something that is like healthy and sustainable for yourself as somebody that's taken, you know, many long breaks and many kind of different playing routines with the game. You know, I've played very hardcore at like the top 20 Alliance War, and you know, done all these crazy grinds in the past. Like, I'm very much enjoying where I am at the moment with the game, just being an end game casual. You know, I like to just mess about with champions, kind of enjoy blasting with the characters that I really enjoy play. But I'm not taking anything like super seriously at the moment. And if you watch my account tour video as well, I haven't brought, I believe, any of the trophy champions released this year with the mega sales as well. You know, I've really cut back my spending because I don't like the way that they've been going in the direction of the recent sales, and you know, that's one of my personal things as well. But yeah, I really hope there is a better year ahead. I think again that there is this future where the stars could align, and next year is an amazing year for Marvel, and we have some of the coolest updates we've ever seen, like some of the most insane new characters. But we're gonna have to see. You know, it's there's so much ahead of us. But I'm excited for the live stream tomorrow. I'm excited for Summoner Fest. I'm excited just to see if Kabam can knuckle down and really start to turn around community sentiment and how they've been releasing content in this game. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day.